We're going to be talking about the dollar Swiss today. And the dollar Swiss, once again, monthly. Purple zones are pretty much my monthly areas, support and resistance. So let's go ahead and bring it down to the weekly. And weekly, it's pretty much my red zones. They're pretty much respected down here. And let's go ahead and bring it down to the daily now. And we were talking about this pair last week, and the I have some zones that I marked down here. I think I'm going to start doing this from now on. So last week we were right. I believe we were talking that we were pretty much on an uptrend channel, and I'll still go ahead and consider this along. And the areas of interest was going to be right around here. Your 198 was going to be the levels of interest, and then so let's go ahead and jot this down. I believe the 198 was the levels of interest, or pretty much the levels that we would have to break on a 4-hour level in order to continue engaging long. But since we were still on an uptrend, the beginning of the opening session, Sunday coming into Monday, I went ahead and placed a limit order on the 97.25. My stop loss was 97, but sometimes I think I do remember actually going down to the 96. Give me 1 second, guys. Let me make sure because I kind of want to make sure it was actually the 97 on this one. Um, 25.7, yeah, 97. Yeah. So the I did take some kind of heat, but I was pretty well respecting the pivot, and my target was 198. Uh, Luckily, I didn't take it all the way to the 198. I could say checking out. It wasn't really all the way 97, 98. For the people that know how I trade, I usually get out before we hit this big round numbers. I got out that 97, 95, but it worked out really well, guys. This is somewhat of a trade where the dollar, the 95, I believe it was the 500, the level that was to be respected was the 12,500 area, and it just kept on going. The 500 respected it for Monday, I believe, and then hit that the 520 area, and that's how we were starting to see this bounce off towards. It bounced off this 97.25, and it just pretty much I just kind of rode it all the way up. So sometimes it's just if we're gonna be trading in these higher time frames, we kind of have to be conscious that if we're setting up a plan, we have to stick to the plan because sometimes I've been through these situations where actually when I first started trading, I would see these red candles and I would panic, right? I don't do that anymore. That not that often. I've been kind of modifying my game, my plan, but I think it's working out a little bit better now. I'll actually talk about that a little bit further on. It has to do with risk management. But this one, I think it paid off a little bit more than a 2-to-1 or 2.5 to 1. So let's go ahead and spread this out. That's two. You can kind of say that's 2.25. The pay rate on this one. Um, so this was actually a good setup for get. And then okay, let's talk about what's happening. Eventually, it broke down. But as we broke down, we created supply. And this is actually, these are the best looking supply zones. You have your drop right there. And they came up to this level and it retested the level. Last week, we also said that if it drops down, we had a supply level right around here. I'm sorry, demand level right there. And guess what? It came perfectly down to this demand level. Um, so I'm going to take this out, guys, because this is pretty much not valid anymore. And we might have a reaction. So the levels of interest that you see here, I'm looking for somewhat of a reaction where if the dollar continues to press down, I'm looking for a 96.50 retracement for a further. I see at this point, I'm no longer interested in. I am, but I'll tell you how I am interested in this demand because it could very well play out where it could very well play out where it could very well come in again and create your double bottom formation for a continuation back up. That's one scenario. Okay. The other scenario is that we completely took out this demand. I'm going to get rid of it, and I'm going to get rid of this now. The other scenario is that since I'm interested on this 96.50 area, and this is where I'm actually going to be out. By the way, I have an alert already set at this 96.45. I have an alert set at this 96.45, where I'm pretty much going to be like a hawk right here, just stalking this level. And if has if it staggers in that area and it just looks like it's going to break down, then I'll go ahead and take it. My next level of interest is, which I already have it down here, would be the 95.50 area, and it is considered demand. You have your rally-based rally, and the reason why I don't have it, as you guys can see from my last week's video, I kind of tend to put more emphasis on my supply and demand whenever they have this great impulse. Like you see how this basing and had this great impulse. We have this rally-based rally, but it didn't have that extreme impulse. So I don't really have it down as a demand area, but it's something that I should be aware. So once I come down towards this 95.50, I'm gonna see that if it starts pretty much a staggering, or it's just doing its sideways action, and we start getting a breakout, then I'll get out. Or sometimes when I'm all right, see, because if we actually put this in perspective, that should be actually your entry, your stop loss. If I actually once it comes to the level, and the pay on this one is pretty much a little bit over the 3 to 1, right? So at that point, once I hit these 3 to 1s, then I'm like, okay, you know what? Why even risk it? If you're already up more than 1-2%, then why do you even want to risk more, right? So it could very well, this could actually very well be a good play. So let me go ahead and take these out. Um, so that's a level of interest, but the level where, let's just say we break down, if we break down, then I know I should, for if this level breaks out, and let's just say you're completely late to the game, right? You didn't take this entire write down. Uh, you should expect somewhat of a pullback. And if you get that pullback, then you have your next continuation. And I would not take it any further down than your 94.80 level. This is the main area where I'm really focused on. And that's pretty much, after I hit these levels for the week, then I'm not even looking at these zones anymore. So that's a playbook for the dollar Swiss, guys. I'll see you guys on the next video. See you.